Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time. Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.
All right, folks, here I am to do my top 100 of all time. This is the 9th time I've done it, but this year I am being Simon Cowled. And with me is Sam Healy and Zee Garcia.
Hey!
Hello.
They're here to keep me in line, to make me account for my choices.
Yes.
Although this year, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 22 games that were on my top 100 last year that are not this year. It was a big upheaval. What I do when I make my top 100 list is I mix the cards up and do it, but I don't look at last year's.
Okay.
I try to put it out of my mind completely. And there are a couple games. One of my top 10 games dropped out.
Okay, wow.
And
Dropped off the list completely?
dropped off the list completely. But there's a really good reason for that one. There's also like a number 25 or 26 or 27. One of those numbers.
We'll get to those, I guess. But,
Right.
So what you're saying is this year was a particularly good year for gaming. Because 22 new games made it onto the list.
No, that's the thing. Some of these games are older games that I've enjoyed more, and they've researched back onto the list.
I see, interesting.
If I'm guessing off the top of my head, maybe 8 games that are new. Some of them are older games.
Okay.
And some games they've been on my list for the last 9 years, and they still fell off. Just because I don't play them that much anymore, or for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
And there's going to be 11 videos in this series, and the first 10 will be 100 to 91 and so on and so forth. Then the last one will be all the games that fell off, and then you guys can beat me for taking them off my list.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So here we go to number
Looking forward to
100.
that one.
All right, here are Tom's numbers. He picked that. We'll get to it. Okay, here we go. Coming in at number 100, Horse Fever.
Number 100 on my list is Horse Fever. Horse Fever is a game which I think I'm probably one of the few people in the world who has it in their top 100 list. But every time I play it, everyone is laughing and cheering. It's a horse racing game, unlike any other horse racing game. It's like a drag race. The horses move very, very short distance. And you bet on the horses, which one you think is going to win. And then you own some of the horses. You mess with other horses. You give them basically steroids and hot peppers and all sorts of things to mess them up. It's a really crazy, convoluted game. But I don't know, I just really got a kick out of it.
Yeah, it's a cool game, and it's almost not even about the racing. It's about everything before the race, and then you see the race go off,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat horse racing game. I like it.
Yeah, it's got I like the art on it. It's not serious art. It's that hokey kind of goofy
Oh,
art.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah,
that
It's like Mad Magazine
very
art almost.
Italian. It's
Yeah,
a very
yeah.
Italian game. That's
Okay.
cool.
All right!
You're okay with that.
Start,
All right, good!
starting on the right foot.
So, Horse Fever.
Hoof.
Number 99, Trains.
Number 99 is the first new addition to my top 100, although last year I considered putting it on because I'd played the Japanese version of this game, and that's Trains. Now, I suspect that Trains will move higher on my list as time goes by. It depends on how many expansion sets, and I shouldn't say if they release expansions, when they release expansions. Expansions are going to happen for Trains. But taking the idea of Dominion and adding a board, just add it one more level. It's still fairly abstract. I mean, I don't sit there and go, woo, choo-choo. So I'm just putting...
I hope you don't. Never, ever do that.
In any game?
In any game. Choo-choo.
I've done it before. I bet you have too.
I don't think I've ever done the choo-choo sound.
Yeah, I don't think.
Have you done...
Yes, probably.
I don't know about that.
Have you made any noises?
Train wrecks.
Yeah, I make-
Train wreck noises.
Train wreck.
Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, a deck building game with the board, and the new AEG version is just aces in its production values.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Light years better than the Japanese.
That's almost every reprint that we say for Japan. Japan has the most innovative ideas ever.
They have really neat games that have very strange.
But I don't know that we've ever said, wow, the production values of this Japanese game. Well.
Oh,
Nah, that's weird.
That's a cool game. I like trains, though. Do you like trains?
Yeah,
though?
it's-
yeah.
2 for 2.
that's good.
I really haven't had the itch to play it again, which is what's weird. I remember playing it, and I liked it. I was like, okay, cool. But it's kind of dropped off my...
But if I told you I got an expansion, would you be excited to try it
I'd
out?
play it, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to try. I want to try the new version.
Oh, that's right. You haven't played the new one
I
yet.
haven't even tried to play the new one.
But it's good. All right, so trains.
Number 98, Dice Town.
Number 98 is a game that last year was number 59. So it dropped down a bit. Well, remember though, I'm at like 3,500 games now. So that
well.
no. That means it's pretty high up
Only
there.
3,500.
Only 3,000, really.
So anyhow, this game is a game about dice, and it's Dice Town. Dice Town is an exceptionally fun game. Why would it?
You got some explaining to do. This is a good game.
Oh, yeah.
Why did it drop almost 40 spots?
because there's 97 better games.
Come on, you got to come up with a better excuse than that.
Well, no, it's just the way it worked out. I mean,
Yeah, I like Dice Town, and when I do a top 100, it probably will be on mine, but it might be somewhere in the top 80s or 90s, yeah. There are a lot of better games. It's a neat game.
I understand.
It's kind of fluffy.
it is really fun. I think sometimes I played it with some people who have really drug it out. They'll sit there and go, okay, I'm going to keep 2 dice. Like, pick your dice.
Right.
I don't know if that's the reason, though.
Play quick, play it for fun, and you're good to go.
This is one of the few games in my top 100, though, that I think I can say I play at least twice a year, every year. At least. Somewhere, someplace, at a convention, it's almost always going to come out somewhere.
Yep.
Because someone will go, I've never played this. And I'm like, let's try it out. Because it's so easy to teach and play.
You say twice a year like it's a lot.
For me, it
I'm
is.
sure there's a lot of twice a year.
What in the world?
Yeah.
Do that one day.
That's a lot, though.
No, think about this.
Too.
Well, I'm doing my top 100. If I played them all twice a year, that's 200 games a year. And that doesn't include anything new, anything else.
Or anything else, yeah.
I guess.
No, I agree. A game that I play twice a year and I enjoy it, that's a keeper. I mean, that might be scary, but that's what it is.
All right, moving on.
Number 97, Super Dungeon Explorer.
Next one is new to the list, although I think I considered it last year. And I don't know if it was out the year before that, but that's Super Dungeon Explorer. I like Gauntlet. It's one of my favorite video games of all time in its ridiculousness of the nature. You know, fighter needs food badly. And you'd sit there and you fought 600 million orcs. You just kept pressing the button over and over and over again. And it was just ridiculous. And I loved it. And I still remember the original ad for it. You remember the ad where it showed the barbarian and the archer and the mage? It was like one of the first computer games that had that. And you're like, oh! And then you played the game and was like, oh, my barbarian's You know, it wasn't as exciting. But it was fun because it was one of the first games where you fought hordes of people.
Yeah.
And that's the way, this game plays the same way. You have these little chibi anime characters and then the monsters just keep coming. And you got to destroy the spawn points. The models are fantastic, although they really need to be painted, unfortunately. But they look good, and I think each of the expansions, the models are getting better, especially since they're in like one piece rather than the 10 that the first one were. So I like it. Certainly one I'm keeping. Super Dungeon Explorer. Also, I like the name, Super Dungeon Explorer. Thoughts?
I don't remember if I've played this one. I confuse. There's so many of these games that seem similar and have come out lately, like Crossmaster Arena and Super Dungeon Explorer.
Well, I know Sam. I know I played it with Sam.
Yeah.
I don't know if I played it with you, but the
models were, the awe factor. But you're right. There's a whole lot of. It seems like here recently.
If I can remember it,
a whole bunch of dungeon crawl games just came out all at once.
Yes,
and
yes.
they all kind of melded together.
and they all went for that cutesy thing all at once. You know what I mean? I have no recollection of if I've played it or not, and that's probably not a good sign.
It's almost like we intimidated him without ever. He's being real.
No,
Making good games so far.
So far, I mean, you're 3 for 4. I mean.
Only
you will not agree with everything in the top
only
10.
95.
Once we get to the
more to go.
let's-
All right, moving on. Super Dungeon Explorer.
Number 96, Dragon's Gold.
Due to the mysteries of video editing and production and all that, for some reason we didn't go over this one when I recorded with Sam and Zee. So I could talk about it without their opinion. Okay, anyway, Dragon's Gold. This is the new version. It was originally in a blue box, like the castle here. It looked very similar to that. But Dragon's Gold, I like this one a lot because it is a real-time negotiation game. You're fighting these dragons, and that doesn't really mean anything. You kill the dragons, and each time when a dragon dies, you have to split the loot between the different players, and you have to split it right then, right now. You can't make any promises about the future. You just basically say there's 5 things, there's 3 of us splitting them. How are we going to split these? I'll take this red one, which is worth 3 points. I'll give you guys these. And if you don't make a deal before the time runs out, no deal happens. So you have to make some sort of deal, and I really enjoy that. It can lead to some very fun, entertaining games. So, whoops, back to Sam and Zee.
Number 95, Vegas Showdown.
All right, the next one has been on my list now for quite a few years. It was a 80, 80, 58, 84, 55. Now it's down to 95. But it's still, well, again, I don't look at the other numbers, so I don't say, oh, this moves down too. It's just the way it is. But this is a game which I remember, this is one of the few games in my top 100. The first time I played it, I disliked it. I did. I hated it. Mostly because I got destroyed by it was like 10 points. But that was because I got so caught up in building my casino a specific way. And it's Vegas Showdown. Vegas Showdown, when I first saw it, I thought these components are kind of weak. They're thin, cardboard, and the auctioning. What kind of weird auctioning is this? And I have to connect my casino, and I didn't do very well. But then I played it again because someone said, no, it's really fun. And I played it again, and it was. And I kept playing it. And the more I play it, the more I like it. And also, I've learned how to play it better because it is a game that rewards good place bidding. If you play with some people, it's very vicious. You're not getting a lounge this round. And that could really irritate people sometimes.
If you play with a full complement of 5, which I think is what the game holds, then
I think that's the best way to play, though.
Yeah.
I like it with 5.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a great game. I'd love it.
And it's one of those games, especially for me, where the component quality didn't really hurt it that much because it's such a good game.
Right.
Usually, if the game's weak, the components will bring it up a little bit.
Right.
This one,
right.
the components didn't hurt it because the game is so strong.
Well, I think what doesn't bother me is that the graphic design is so good.
Yeah.
The graphic design, the iconography, everything is actually really, really clear.
Yeah, it is.
So the components do not bother me.
But it also makes sense.
Everything makes
restaurants bring in people,
Yes.
slot machines bring in money.
Right.
And lounges make you popular.
It's intuitive.
It's a great game.
Yeah,
Great game.
Very good.
Too bad it's not going to probably ever be reprinted. Maybe.
Well, it was reprinted not very long ago.
Oh, yeah, but in the same garbagey way the first
Yes.
one was.
Yes.
Hasbro!
Number 94, Telestrations.
This one was 99 last year, moved up to 97, moved up to 94, and it's a party game. So now,
Get him!
it's Telestrations.
Telestrations.
I know you like Telestrations. Because the reason I like it, I think even more, was I think I liked it last year, but now I have the 12-player version. And when you play with a big group of Telestrations, you could disqualify this from my list by saying that it's not even a game when I play it.
Right.
Because we don't keep score.
No.
All we do is we play it and see what happens. Do you keep score?
Come on, man. You don't have to keep score for it to be a game.
I guess. Well, I mean, some people think that if you're just doing it as an activity, like if you don't care who wins, it's an activity.
Well, whatever.
Okay, well, anyhow, but that's the way I play it. I almost never try to win.
Game activity.
I think if you are trying to win Telestrations, you're going about it the wrong way. If you never played Telestrations, it's basically you write down a phrase like monkey on cow.
And I take that. and I try to draw a monkey on cow, and then I pass that to Sam, who only looks at my drawing, and on the next page writes,
What do you write?
It looks like a cowboy riding a three-legged horse.
And then it gets passed around to the next person, and then they draw that.
Draws cowboy on three-legged horse. So telephone game, basically.
Right, and when you're done, you show everybody, and
you
people
die
laugh because it's really ridiculous. And people say, well, why can't you play with paper and pencil? And you could. I've done it, but that's so bad compared to these flip books. These flip books, those are great.
Dry erase boards oh man.
The only thing I'd recommend is if you're playing it, to chuck the cards that come with it and just have people make their own starting thing.
I think it's good to warm up the crowd, though, with the cards.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
But if you do your own thing, then you can do funnier things.
Yes.
Like Zee on a bad day. Give it to the next person. That's really funny.
That's great.
All right. So anyway, Telestrations.
Number 93, Pitch Car and Carabande.
My next one has been on the list since the very beginning, and it's gone all over the place. It was 34 last year, and now it's down to 93. And that's mostly because I haven't played it in that long. I don't. This is one of the few games I don't own. I left it in Korea because it was too heavy. And I keep thinking I should buy it back again because it would make a great youth group ad game and a game to set up at big game gatherings. And that's Pitch Car / Carabande.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And flicking discs around a track is just really fun, especially with all the sets. Now, the problem is, one, it's really expensive nowadays. Sure, you can buy one set and get away with it, or you can buy Pitch Car Mini for people who like to have mini amounts of fun. But no, I mean, if we're going to play Pitch Car, let's play Pitch Car.
You gotta, yes.
I'm trying to think of all the games, just looking at the games on your shelf. I'm trying to look at all the games I would have left behind to bring that. Just because it would be so expensive.
But it was so heavy,
You had so much of it.
I know.
Oh,
Well, anyway.
Well, yeah, whatever.
I still remember I used to walk from my house to church. It was like 5 blocks. No big deal. And I was like, I'm going to take Pitch Car. So I carried 2 of those bins. By the time I got it, my back!
Why am I doing this?
We used to have a pool table at our church, and I would set it up on the pool table. It was a great table for it.
I remember we took it to the rec center on base one time and laid out a huge.
Yeah, it was like a Memorial Day gaming or something,
it was
and
awesome.
it was really fun. So anyway, Pitch Car.
Good game.
Number 92, The Settlers of Catan.
All right, here we go. Number 92 has been on my list. It was 83 last year, then 91, then the year before that, 109, 130. So it's been on and off the list, floating around. This year, it's back on my list because I like the Star Trek version of it. You got it. It's so easy. Settlers of Catan, I don't know what it is. I like the different variations of it, and I'm including those variations in this. I'm not saying whatever you'd say, the Germany one or the specific ones. I'm talking straight up Settlers with a few expansions, and whether it's Seafarers or the Star Trek one with the new expansion with the map is really fun, and with its special cards. Using those, I like it. It just works. I mean, I still think you should play with a maximum of 4 players. 5 to 6 gets a little out of hand.
Yes.
And I know that a lot of people like Cities and Nights, but to me that's almost a completely different game at that point. But I do like the fact that there's so many scenarios for it.
So wait a minute. You said that it's back on your list because of Star Trek.
I really like. You could consider this if you want Star Trek Catan.
Okay. Then
In this,
It's the same game.
You should probably, if they didn't come out with Star Trek Catan, would it have come back up on?
I don't know, because I really like that new expansion that they came out too. The Traders and Barbarians. I forget what it's called. The newest expansion. It was a pretty cool game. I liked it. I don't know. I think the set is pretty cool because it's mobile. It's always going to be iffy on my top 100. It's never going to push its way to the top.
I like Settlers, but I don't think it'd make my.
I'm gonna cry foul on this one.
You put on your overrated games. I knew you weren't going to like it.
I'm not gonna say that because I've always liked the Germany Catan one. So I love that. It's the only version I play. I haven't played Star Trek Catan yet either, so I'm open to playing that one. But the reason I'm calling foul is because Star Trek Catan brought, and you're using, it's almost like you're talking about the original game is back on your list because of Star Trek Catan.
Well, it is the same game.
Well, I know,
The
but
characters are different. There's characters
well, I know,
which
but
they
it's
just released for Catan, actually.
it's got a different feel to it. It's got a different film over it, if you can say it that way. So it's a new implementation of the same game.
All right, so Sam has invalidated it.
I'm not invalidating.
I think it's fine.
It's your list.
It's Settlers.
That's right.
But I can think of 100 better games without breaking a sweat. You know what I mean? I like the game. I do like it, but I can think of 100 better games probably
thank you, guys.
without worrying too much.
All right, well, that's still better than... Okay, moving on.
Number 91. First and Goal.
I think number 91, which was on my list at 80 last year, is on... I don't think either one of you has played it, and that's First and Goal.
I've played it with you.
Oh, that's right, but you said you don't like football.
No.
So that automatically invalidates your opinion because...
You don't
Wow.
like football?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't like football. He doesn't like sports games.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Top 10 sports games, Z. Number 10, nothing.
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 No, all his games would be racing games.
There would be.
But I really like this football game. It takes basically football and makes it really interesting. You both play a card, you compare the cards, and that tells the offensive player how many dice he rolls. And it really gets cool because they make all these expansions with different dice for each team.
Right.
And I think that's really cool. Like some dice have really good passing. Teams have really good passing dice. Other teams have a really good defensive dice. It's really a cool game. I really enjoy it quite a
No,
bit.
it's fake teams, right? It's made up teams.
It's fake teams, which gives them more freedom to make the teams really wonky. Like one team can be really good at passing, but at the same time all be pretty balanced.
I do remember it playing very quickly, and it keeps you moving. You know what I mean? Which is cool. I like that. It doesn't bog down in detail, which is apt to happen when games like that are thought up.
Well, it's got a new game, NFL something or other, football game day,
something
right?
like that.
And it comes with these magnets that you can put on the board to say you're playing the Eagles versus Steelers. And someone said, why don't you just take those magnets out and stick them in the First and Goal game? So I will. So I might be playing the Fruity Tooty Looty team, and that's not what they're
Which
called.
would be the Eagles.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
At least you're not saying Dolphins.
Thanks for watching so far.
Oh, that's right. Don't mess with Philadelphia fans. Seriously, they're the worst. That's not helping my situation, is it?
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm a Bears fan.
Number
Don't worry, I'm not sweating no Eagles fans. I'm
All
sorry.
Bears.
all right. Number 91, First and Goal. The first 10. We've made it to the top 10. I've only gotten a little bit of garbage, so not so bad.
Only a little garbage.
Yeah, you're not going to like the
The
next 10.
garbage will pile up as we go on.
The garbage will rise.
Yeah. I think the worst video is going to be when you guys find out some of the ones I dropped off the list.
Yeah.
Although there's going to be
Right.
one game I drop off the list that Sam's going to stand up triumphantly and be glad for. You watch. So. All right. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia.
And I'm Sam Healy.
And you've been watching the Dice Tower. Hit it.
Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.